Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erica and this video is the final one of making the first installment of the Worth gown. The second installment, I guess, would be the one with the evening bodice. But today's video is the belt. I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally get to this video. Thank you for joining me. Feel free to like, subscribe, and I'd love to hear your comments on this. I cannot wait to show this to you.
Okay, so where I am on the belt is I cut more of a length than what I actually need, so I will have to cut down the ends, but I stitched two pieces together and that's going to be the center back, which will be covered over by the bow. Like the hook to the bow will go on here. So best I can tell, the grain of the stripes, the ribs, goes this way on the belt and then this way on the front part of the belt. And the pictures are not good and zooming in, you know, so it's just best guess. And as far as the pleats are concerned, it definitely worked easier to fold them with the ribbing going that way. So I've got them all folded. I need to press this down really tight. I took advantage of the seam here and stitched in the ditch to tack it here. And then this is going to be the center back and it's going to wrap around and I'm going to have it close in the front. I have absolutely no clue how this belt originally closed, so I'm making up my own. Again, I cut it too big, so I'll probably end up having to cut like 1.5 inches off of this side, 1.5 inches off of the other side. But what I'm going to do to just help the pleats lay is where it will be covered over by the decorative portion of the belt. Here, I will do another row of machine stitching to tack the pleats down so it won't be visible when the actual dress is being worn. What I can tell from the pictures is that there is no top stitching here, so it's just having to make it lay with no top stitching. And hopefully with enough pressing and the tacking here, and I'll have one on this side and then one on this side, they will lay the way they're supposed to. If I end up having to do some additional ninja tacking just by hand where you can barely see it, I will. I'm not opposed to coming down with a needle and thread and like putting a stitch or a knot or something down these tacks where you won't be able to tell. But that is where we are on the belt. I did my best guesses on measurements for the different pieces. I already have the buttons covered. I did these at the same time I did the ones for the rest of the bodice. I will have to cover some more for the evening bodice, but I only need 3 for this belt, and then I'll have 3 extra, and I think I need like 5 or 6 on the other one. So that's where we are. I've got some scraps pulled out here to work on these 2 portions of the belt, and I should have enough piping to go around this portion because this portion is piped in the original. I made this piping at the same time I made the piping for the sleeves and the neckline of the bodice. So that's where we are. I will pop back in later with another update. Okay, so call me weird, but where the bow goes on the back, I am just going to use those plastic snaps and put them on because that's what I want to do, and I don't feel like sewing on snaps, so that's what I'm about to do. Okay, the base of the belt is done, so I'm aware that that is not a straight line, but it will be hidden by the front of the belt. I'm not sure what happened in stitching down the edge, but whatever. I used this tape to finish off the edges, did all the pleats. I did have to do some tacking, quite a bit of tacking to get these to lay, but they're down. And put the 2 hooks and bars there. So now I get to start the other part. Looks so good. Okay, where I am on the belt is I've gotten my template made. It's pinned down. I'm going to cut it out with my seam allowance added because there's no seam allowance in here on the actual like pattern piece I made. I have gotten this part sewn. I put right sides together, sewed it, and then flipped it, and it was on the fold. So one side of it is just folded, and then that's a seam because I didn't want two seams because it gets bulky that way. And also coming over here, this is my first attempt. It wasn't wide enough. I didn't get it as good as I wanted it on this side, and yeah, it wasn't wide enough to pleat up and be the size I wanted. So this is number 2. It went much better. So this belt's gonna, obviously get stitched down in the center. So I'm probably gonna go do a line of stitching right here in the middle because it won't be visible, but it'll help hold those down. And potentially re-iron this pleat. I don't know if it matters because I'll see. But these won't be stitched down or anything. I'm just using the pins to hold them for the rest of this process. So I'm gonna cut this out, sew it together with seam allowances and with the binding in it. I think I am gonna have to cut the binding down a little bit here so that, pardon my kids, they're playing video games right now and are really into it. So I've got to cut this down so that I can fit it in between. So I'll probably cut it down to, like, if it'll focus, right at this second line of stitching here. I don't know if it's going to focus. Anyway, this goes all the way around the outer edge of this. And then the 3 buttons here, one goes in the center, one goes here, one goes here. So I'll have 3 extras towards the next bodice. So anyway, that's where I am.
Alright, so this is the end of this one. I do want to show it really quick. So I did put the snaps that I said I was going to put on the back so the bow can come off, because this bow goes on the dress with both bodices, but this belt only goes with this daytime bodice. It doesn't go with the evening bodice. So I'm also going to put these snaps on the back of the this same side on the back of the other bodice, so that when I get that one made, I can just move this belt over, this bow over to the other one. As far as the rest of the belt, so I put, I'm trying to figure out the best way to show. I put 2 hooks and bars here for closing it, and then I added another hook and bar there so that that stays. So it'll go on the dress like that. I am going to say I am ridiculously proud of how this part came out. This was not easy to get done and right. There was, to get the points on this cording, I had to fiddle with it, and I think I had to end up trying like 2 or 3 times. And I still feel like that there's a chance I could go back and do it again at some point to see if I can get these points even a little more pointy here on the end. But overall, I'm really pleased with it without doing anything else to it. So I am going to do another video, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, of me putting it all on. I am so excited. I do have a couple of new videos of a couple of the undergarment pieces that I went back and made again that worked better with the actual dress than the ones I had previously made. So I will probably be putting those videos out soon, but I just really wanted to get this out, and I didn't end up making those new undergarments before I finished this. So I mean, they go under it, but it's fine. So anyway, I'm just really excited to get this out. So I can't wait. I hope you stick around. I hope you subscribe to see the finished gown. This was probably over a year in the making, and I still haven't yet done the evening bodice. I will get to that at some point, but I'm just reveling in what I have finished at this point. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you in the next one.